It's Monday, June 3. In the headlines, increase in minimum wage comes into effect. In business news, Omni Industries' initial public offer oversubscribed. Regionally, Antigua and Barbuda praised for hosting SIDS conference. And in sports, Jamaican sprinter Oblique Seville smashes world-leading time in 100 meters race. Also, West Indies beat Papua New Guinea in their opening match of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. As of today, Jamaicans should see an increase in the minimum wage for a 40-hour work week. The minimum wage has moved to $15,000, up from $13,000. The increase in the national minimum wage was announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness in his contribution to the 2024-2025 budget debate on March 21. The weekly wage for industrial security guards has also been increased from $14,000 to $15,000. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang says a high-level probe is in motion to apprehend the person responsible for Saturday night's arson attack on Gordon House. Gordon House is located in downtown Kingston. It houses Jamaica's parliament. Reports are that a lone individual threw a plastic bottle containing an accelerant at Gordon House, igniting it, and then fleeing on foot. According to the police, at about 10 p.m. on Saturday, police personnel attached to the Protective Services Division were on regular duty at the Parliament building when they detected the smell of smoke. After conducting an external check of the building, they discovered smoke at the entrance and picked up an odor similar to kerosene. They observed a partly burnt plastic bottle on the floor and burn marks on the front doors. CCTV footage reviewed shortly after showed the incident. The fire extinguished naturally, resulting in minimal damage. Jamaica and the Philippines recently signed a communique signaling their intent to collaborate in addressing challenges to human resources for health. The agreement was inked on May 30 by Jamaica's Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tuffton and Dr. Teodoro Hebosa, Secretary of Health of the Republic of the Philippines.
The agreement was inked on May 30 by Jamaica's Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tuffton and Dr. Teodoro Herbosa, Secretary of Health of the Republic of the Philippines.
This is quite relevant, and I'm hoping it will be an example for many others to follow. In the first instance, it is driven by a country that is a major supplier with significant infrastructure and expertise and capacity to train, and a major supplier of healthcare workers to the world, and a willingness to embrace what we have discussed here, which is cooperation and partnership. The specifics of this will be worked out, but what we're signing today is an intent to dialogue around sharing of faculty, clinical rotation.
The communique reportedly comes against the background of the continued exodus of healthcare workers due to a variety of push and pull factors. Both countries will actively work at agreeing to the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, by September 2024. For the news on PBCJ, I am Marlon Samuels.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tuffton is recovering from a broken wrist following a cycling accident on Sunday morning, June 2. Dr. Tuffton shared a photo of himself in a hospital bed with a bandage to his forehead, shaking hands with dancehall artist Valiant, who he confirmed was involved in the incident. The minister made a post to Instagram in which he said, quote, "Counting myself very lucky because it could have been worse. Thanks to God and all those who have me in their prayers and sent messages," end quote. He continued, quote, "Also, thanks to Valiant, who was involved, for rushing me to UHWI, and to the team of doctors and nurses who are currently attending to me," end quote. The theme, Executing the Mission with the 2020 Vision, sets the tone for the celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. In commemoration of this milestone, the agency convened at the Portmore Seventh-day Adventist Church on June 1.
A merger between the Child Development Agency and the Office of Children's Registry, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency is a leading figure in Jamaica's child protection system. They are renowned for promoting child-friendly policies and pioneering programs designed to strengthen families. Speaking to the assembled audience at their 20th anniversary celebration, Chief Executive Officer Mrs. Loretta Adams-Thomas characterized the agency's evolution as profoundly transformative.
Looking back at our journey, it has been nothing short of what we consider to be transformative. From the establishment of the Juvenile Authority in 1951, when the care of orphans and abandoned children was left to the goodwill of churches and communities, to now the formation of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency in 2017. We have indeed come a long way.
In her address, Mrs. Adams-Thomas highlighted several significant milestones attained by the agency since its establishment.
We have built a robust network of child protection personnel across the island. We have expanded our services. We have strengthened our capabilities. Today, we care for over 4,500 of Jamaica's most vulnerable children through various programs, each representing a life transformed and a future secured.
Marcia Smith, the State Minister in the Ministry of Education and Youth, expressed the Education Ministry's acknowledgement of the agency's pivotal role in spearheading innovative strategies.
The work that they do has been fundamental in implementing innovative strategies to improve the quality of care that our children require, from the recruitment and training of foster parents to the development of alternative care options. As I join in celebrating your 20 years of service, I wish to acknowledge that God has been at the center of your success. Your unwavering commitment to our children has been driven by a recognition that to love our children is to truly love our nation.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Denida Rodney.
The construction of the multi-million-dollar Western Children and Adolescent Hospital is to be completed by 2025. Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Jamaica, Dr. Chen Dozhang, made the disclosure at a press conference last Thursday. Chanel Matthews has more in this report.
Construction of the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital in Montego Bay, St. James is reportedly on schedule. The facility should be completed by the first quarter of 2025.
In order to better cater the needs for the Jamaican people, that the Western Children's Hospital projects resumed all the work in the first half of 2022, and now that we have been witnessing the full construction of it. Now we have finished with the outside part of the main structure, and some of the inner restoration is being in process. We estimate that in the first half of 2025, the whole buildings could be completed. Once completed, it will be the largest children's hospital, and it will greatly increase the benefits for the women and children in this area. I firmly believe this will yet be another landmark project between China and Jamaica and be a great symbol of China-Jamaica friendship.
The US $43 million, 6-story and 220-bed facility is being built on the compound of the Cornwall Regional Hospital. The state-of-the-art hospital will provide healthcare to children and adolescents up to 18 years of age.
The Western Children's Hospital project is one of the first projects that resumed its work since my inauguration in office here in Jamaica, and it has certainly attracted the attention from the whole Jamaican society. I personally accompanied Minister Tuffton to visit the project on site for several times, and I emphasized once and once again to the Chinese companies that they must apply with strict standards and guarantee the high quality of the Western Children's Hospital. And I can see that the Chinese companies has been working very closely with the local communities and the relevant Jamaican organizations and agencies.
For the news on PBCJ, I am Chanel Matthews.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Investors can look out for dividends as passive income based on corporate announcements. Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited has declared a dividend of 0.1411 cents per share payable on September 16, 2024 to shareholders on record as at August 15, 2024. The ex-dividend date is August 15, 2024. Salada Foods Jamaica Limited has declared an interim dividend of 0.064 cents per stock unit payable on July 4, 2024 to shareholders on record as at June 14, 2024. The ex-dividend date is June 14, 2024. Omni Industries' initial public offer, which closed on May 22, was oversubscribed. This first IPO of 2024 on the Jamaica Stock Exchange saw the take-up of all 500 million shares being offered at a price of $1 Jamaican per share. Applicants whose applications were only partially accepted will be refunded the balance of their subscription monies as per the IPO prospectus. Omni Industries will now proceed to apply for a listing of its ordinary shares on the Jamaica Stock Exchange Junior Market. During trading for the period of May 1, 2024 to May 31, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Phosphorich Company Limited with 284,586,909 units amounted to 32.83% of the market volume in terms of sales. Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited with 209,258,428 units amounted to 24.14% of the market volume in terms of sales. Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 92,001,127 units amounted to 10.6% of the market volume in terms of sales. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies, we turn to the Forex market. On May 31, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $69.6 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $70.3 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $155.82 and bought the US dollar for $154.08. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.74, which represents a profit for forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian forex traders earned a trading profit of $3.10 from transactions at the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $112.82 and bought for $109.72. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.78, selling it for $199.38 and buying it for $192.60. For our credit report tip of the day, let us look at the powerful technique of credit stacking. This is a strategic way to build and utilize your credit effectively. In order to use this technique, you will have to have your credit report. You have to know it inside and out, okay? So your credit report is your financial report card and covers 4 areas. Accuracy. Ensure all the information is correct. Outstanding balances. Make sure you identify any debts or balances that need to correct. Credit utilization. This should ideally be 30% of your total credit limit. And payment history. Ensure you have a track record of on-time payments. So join us tomorrow for more credit stacking techniques. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed. Stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda has come in for high praise from several officials for its hosting of the recently concluded 4th Conference on Small Island Developing States, SIDS. United States Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Roger Nias, is among those commending the Gaston Brown administration. Nias calls the conference wildly successful. Garfield Burford reports.
The moment the flags were lowered, signaling the official end of the 4th Conference on Small Island Developing States in Antigua and Barbuda. 4 days of discussions to chart the course toward resilient prosperity for some of the world's most vulnerable states. It was a mammoth logistical exercise, the first time this country was undertaking a conference of this scale and size. United States Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, Roger Nias, was effusive in his praise of the government of Antigua and Barbuda.
So I first want to start with a hearty congratulations to the people of Antigua and Barbuda. This conference has been wildly successful, and your Prime Minister Brown, and your Foreign Minister Green, and their entire teams have done a fantastic job. On behalf of President Biden, I extend my hearty congratulations. It's really, we're so proud of you. We're happy to partner with you. The U.S. was very involved in this conference from the get-go.
Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission, Dr. Didacus Jules, makes it clear it has not only been historic for Antigua and Barbuda, but for the entire sub-region.
It's the largest conference of this nature held in Antigua and Barbuda. It's the largest international conference held in the OECS period. And I have to compliment the Prime Minister, the government, and the people of Antigua and Barbuda for a range of things, starting with the hospitality. As the largest conference ever held in the OECS, the levels of organization have been incredible, because to tell you the truth, when we heard Antigua was taking on that ambition, we were worried about the capacity to deal with that influx of numbers and the logistics of such an exercise. And it has been very admirably executed.
Dr. Jules is also impressed with the quality of the discussions and explains how this conference will have far-reaching benefits.
It's been an extraordinary experience, and I don't think we can heap sufficient praise and acknowledgement to the work done by the government and people of Antigua and Barbuda in hosting this conference. I think this conference will be a game changer in terms of the posture of a lot of the agencies represented here in listening more carefully and reacting to what we have been calling for.
Chairman of the Alliance of Small Island States, AOSIS, Ambassador Paula Lely Lutera, whose country Samoa hosted the last conference, also reacts.
It's not an easy task to organize this. It's not. You know, we sort of organized this 10 years ago, and it's not easy by any chance. So even taking on that responsibility, you know, I think shows a lot of commitment to the cause of small island developing states.
As St. Kitts and Nevis is pushing towards becoming a sustainable island state, the Federation has partnered with the University of the West Indies in assisting with the necessary scientific research in this endeavor. The partnership was solidified with the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding signed during the 4th International SIDS Conference in Antigua and Barbuda on Wednesday, May 29 at the American University of Antigua. Andre Huey reports.
Signing the MOU on behalf of the university was University Vice-Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles and Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development and Climate Change, Dr. Joel Clark, gave some insights into what the MOU entails.
So that was a historic moment for St. Kitts and Nevis and the University of the West Indies, Mona, Jamaica in particular. We had the Vice-Chancellor, Sir Hilary Beckles, and the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Ms. Sandra Maynard, a Kittitian herself. Sir Beckles signed the MOU along with our Prime Minister, Dr. Drew, and the MOU basically says that the University of the West Indies and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis will be working together for the next 5 years to research, document, and map our trajectory through this transition to become a sustainable island state. One thing that's really critical is that many global partners and funders don't often work with government, but they are very open to working with academic institutions. And this is what the partnership with the University of the West Indies through the signing of this historic MOU today does. It guarantees the scientific, technical expertise from the university to work with and guide St. Kitts through the next 5 years to really map and document our sustainable island state transition.
The MOU was signed immediately after the St. Kitts and Nevis led side event at SIDS 4, which looked at the impact of climate change on health. Meanwhile, Minister Clark summed up SIDS 4 and the takeaways for St. Kitts and Nevis.
I think for St. Kitts and Nevis, the major takeaway is we need global political champions. And our Prime Minister has been that champion for us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're small, but we tolerate. And that is what we presented to 39 other SID states, that St. Kitts and Nevis is willing. Size is not a hindrance. And what we've also proven today is that when you have climate diplomacy through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our Foreign Minister, and when you have the Ministers of Agriculture and Environment speaking the same thing and saying what is needed around food security, energy security, sustainable settlements, climate smart homes.
SIDS 4 was attended by representatives of various small island developing states around the world, including the Pacific, the Caribbean, Africa, and Asia. It served as an opportunity for leaders and all stakeholders to come together under the theme of charting the course towards resilient prosperity and work towards a more sustainable, prosperous, and resilient future for SIDS. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
In Trinidad and Tobago, reggae artists made a united call for peace and an end to violence and crime at Redemption, the concert on Saturday at the Queen's Park, Savannah. More in this TTT News report.
The Way Forward was an appropriate theme for one of the biggest annual reggae concerts in Trinidad and Tobago, Redemption, the Concert 2024. Miguel Collins, the iconic Sizzler Kalonji, appealed to the youth, saying he was not used to gun violence among the youth in Trinidad and Tobago.
Now to every gunman in Trinidad, every gangster in Trinidad, all who have guns firing guns killing each other, my message to you is for you to form a non-profit organization. Every gangster must form a non-profit organization and start doing community services.
We caught up with Sizzler off stage. He wants the youth to appreciate that they are the future.
The parents have worked really hard for you to be the better of yourself and the better of the family. And being the better of the family is being the better of your country. So your duty as youth is to carry that torch, that light, that spark, ignite that flame.
David Hines of legendary reggae band Steel Pulse believes people need to take time to understand each other's culture and religion.
Is that people are become ignorant, have lost the way as far as education when it comes to religion, when it comes to cultures. There's been a lot of disrespect amongst different races about what each other believes in.
While Marvin King, popularly known as Mr. King, one of the artists featured on the recently released The Call, a statement on the upsurge in violence, says the real fight is to unite Trinidad and Tobago.
Youths, come on. It's time to band together. It's time to decide where the real fight is. It's time to better ourselves, to network, to move up. We need to develop ourselves, not fight amongst ourselves, and not destroy the black man, not destroy the Indian, not destroy nobody.
Colin Patrick Harper, better known by his stage name Collie Buds, also gave his opinion on violence and crime.
Government is real, politicians are real. Vote for people who you think will make change. And, I know the crime and violence is stepping up a lot of places in the world. And just try to stay conscious.
Redemption, the concert, featured sets from Jamaican artists Sizzla Kalonji, Steel Pulse, Super Cat and Christopher Martin, alongside Bermudan Collie Buds and local acts Jam Melody and Mr. King. Karen Cozier-Phillip, TTT News.
In sports, Oblique Seville is celebrating his victory over reigning American sprint double world champion Noah Lyles at the Racers Grand Prix on Saturday. Jamaica's Seville has fired warning shots at his American opponents, declaring that the country's male sprinters will be a force to be reckoned with this season. Seville stunned Lyles in the men's 100 meters, clocking a personal best time of 9.82 seconds to win the event at the National Stadium. He surpassed his previous best of 9.86 seconds. Lyles was second with his season's best effort, 9.85. Now on to the pitch with cricket. West Indies worked hard for a 5-wicket victory over Papua New Guinea in their opening match of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup in Guyana on Sunday. Roston Chase and Andre Russell took the bat and guided the West Indies after the host first restricted PNG to 136 for 8 and then got the runs for the loss of 5 wickets with an over to spare. After a few setbacks, including losing Johnson Charles LBW for a duck to Aleno and a break due to rain, Brandon King provided some stability with 34 from 29 balls with 7 fours. Still, his departure, along with wickets of Peran for 27, Captain Rovman Powell for 15 and Sherfin Rothford for 2, left the West Indies in a precarious position at 97 for 5 with only 4 overs remaining, but they did prevail in the end. In more cricket news, the West Indies women's selection panel have named a squad of 15 players for the eagerly anticipated series against Sri Lanka. This exciting series, which starts next month, will feature 3 one-day internationals and 3 T20 internationals, with the first match taking place on Saturday, June 15 in Gale. The team is once again led by Captain Hayley Matthews, who has been in exceptional form, supported by Vice Captain Charmaine Campbell. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.